There's a rhythm to a long drive at night. The hum of the engine, the glow of the dash, the white lines disappearing beneath you. You feel invincible, a lone knight on a steel horse. But that night, the rhythm was broken. A new rhythm began. The sound of something running on all fours, right beside my car, keeping perfect time with me at 70 miles an hour. It wasn't an animal. It wasn't a person. It was a monster, a creature of the highway, and it had a profound, malicious hunger that was waiting for me to run out of road. My name is Alex, and I'm a young professional, a man who sees the world in facts and evidence. I was driving home late at night after a business trip, a long straight stretch of highway with nothing but open land for miles. The night was dark and clear, with a full moon, and the only company I had was the hum of my engine and the sound of the radio. A low, constant drone of static and late-night talk shows. I've made this drive 100 times. It's a peaceful, meditative experience, a time to clear your head and prepare for the next day. But that night, the peace was shattered. The first strange event was a sight I initially dismissed as a trick of the mind. In the side of my periphery, I saw a flash of movement, a blur of motion that was low to the ground. I dismissed it as an animal, a deer or a coyote, but a cold knot of unease had formed in my stomach. The weirdness escalated. I saw the flash of movement again, this time in my side mirror, a figure low to the ground, running on all fours, keeping perfect pace with my car at 70 miles an hour. It wasn't a blur. It was a tall, gaunt silhouette, its body low to the ground, its limbs moving in a jerky, puppet-like fashion, a horrifying parody of a person running. I slammed on the brakes, and the figure disappeared, a phantom of the mind. I told myself it was a hallucination, a trick of the mind from a long day of driving. But the cold knot of unease had become a deep, gnawing dread. My paranoia grew when I started driving again, and I saw the figure a third time. This time, it was not just a blur. It was a tall, gaunt silhouette, its body low to the ground, its limbs moving in a jerky, puppet-like fashion, a horrifying parody of a person running. It was running with a profound, malicious joy, a silent, spectral puppet mimicking my every move. I drove faster, my heart hammering in my chest, my mind a blur of fear and confusion. I was 100 miles from the nearest town, and I was not alone. The fear became personal. The figure was now running in front of my car, its pale, gaunt face, with two black, empty eyes, staring directly into mine. It was a face of profound, ancient hatred, a face that had no business being in the world. I had to swerve to avoid hitting it, and I felt the shudder of my car as I passed by. A long drawn-out groan of metal against metal. I looked in my rearview mirror, and I saw it, still shuffling in the middle of the road. Its pale, blank face, staring at the back of my car. Its eyes, two black holes of pure hatred, burning with a cold, hungry light. I knew then that this was not a person. It was a thing, a malicious, ancient entity that was hunting me. The final escalation before the climax was when I pulled over to collect myself, my heart hammering in my chest. The car was a small, fragile shield against the vast, empty darkness. I heard a sound of soft, rhythmic tapping on my back window. I looked, and I saw the figure, its pale, gaunt face pressed against the glass. Its eyes, two black holes of pure hatred, staring directly into mine. The tapping was a sound of profound, malicious joy, a sound of 100 years of waiting. It was now a part of my car, a passenger I never asked for. In a state of profound, bone-deep terror, I slammed my foot on the accelerator. I was driving as fast as my car will go, the hum of the engine a deafening roar against the silence of the night. I could hear a sound behind me, a sound of heavy, deliberate footsteps walking on the highway, a sound that was a perfect, chilling mimicry of a human's. I looked in my rearview mirror, and I saw the figure, now a tall, gaunt silhouette, running behind him, its limbs moving in a jerky, puppet-like fashion, a horrifying parody of a person running. It's not just following him, it's waiting for him to run out of road, to run out of gas, to run out of time. I saw it now, not just a figure, but a thing, a living, breathing absence of life. It's a creature of the highway, a ghost of 1,000 forgotten travelers. I drove 4 hours, until the sun came up, and I saw the first signs of a town. I pulled over, a shell-shocked wreck, my body shaking, my mind a blur of fear and exhaustion. The police found me, but they found nothing. No figure, no footsteps, nothing. I never drove alone at night again. The memory of that night, the pale, gaunt face, the black, empty eyes, and the sound of the footsteps is a weight I will carry forever. I know that the road has its own monsters, and they don't always hide in the shadows. And I know, with a chilling certainty, that the figure is still out there, waiting for the next driver to come down its road. There's a special kind of guilt that lives on the open road, the kind you carry with you, a ghost in the passenger seat. But that night, the ghost wasn't a memory. It was real. It was in the back seat, and it was using my dead wife's voice to tell me a story I didn't want to hear. The story of how it was going to make me stay with it forever. The road has its own rules, its own traditions, and I had broken one of them. I had picked up a hitchhiker, and now she was not going to get off. My name is John, and I'm a middle-aged man, a man who has lost his wife a year ago. I was driving home from my mother's funeral, a long straight stretch of highway, a road I have driven 100 times. The night was dark and clear, with a full moon, and the only company I had was the hum of my engine and the sound of my radio, a low, constant drone of static and late-night talk shows. I was a man who had lost his wife, and I was still grieving. I'm a man who believes in facts and evidence, but that's about to change. I'm 100 miles from the nearest town, and the road is a desolate, silent blanket of profound darkness. The first strange event was a sight I initially dismissed as a desperate traveler. In the distance, I saw a figure on the side of the road, a woman in a long, white dress. She was standing perfectly still, her thumb out, a silent, desperate plea in the middle of a vast, empty prairie. I'm a kind man, a man who believes in helping people. I slowed down, and I offered her a ride. She got in the back seat, and she was silent, a silent, beautiful ghost. I asked her where she was going, but she didn't answer. I drove for an hour, and I told her a story about my wife, about our life together, a silent confession to a silent stranger. She was a silent, comforting presence. I dropped her off in a small, deserted town, a small, dark silhouette against the vast, empty sky, and I drove away, feeling a strange sense of peace. The weirdness escalated a few miles down the road. I started hearing a sound of soft, rhythmic tapping on my back window. I dismissed it, thinking it was the wind, but a cold knot of unease had formed in my stomach. The tapping was too rhythmic, too deliberate, too intentional. It was a sound of a profound, malicious joy. My paranoia grew. I looked in my rearview mirror, and I saw the woman, her pale, gaunt face pressed against the glass, her eyes, two black holes of pure hatred, staring directly into mine. I slammed on the brakes, but she was gone. The silence of the night, once a comfort, was now a threat. The road was a long, empty ribbon of asphalt with nothing but darkness and silence. The fear became personal when the mimicry began. I heard a voice from the back seat, a soft, ethereal whisper that was a perfect, chilling imitation of my dead wife's voice. "John, why did you leave me?" The voice whispered things only my wife and I would know, a dark secret, a forgotten memory. The entity was not just in the back seat. It was in my mind, a malicious parasite feasting on my past. It was a predator, and I was the prey. It began to whisper things I had tried so hard to forget, things about our last argument, our last night together. The whispers were a chorus of profound, malicious lies, and they were designed to break me down, to cause me to lose my sanity. The final escalation before the climax was when the entity's true nature was revealed. The voice from the back seat became a chorus of voices, a symphony of all the people I have ever loved, a chorus of malicious lies, all whispering my name, all telling me to get out of the car, to come and join them. The truck's engine, which had been a low, continuous hum, suddenly cut out, and the truck coasted to a silent stop in the middle of a dense, isolated forest. The road was a trap, and I was the prisoner. I was huddled in the car, terrified, as the chorus of voices from the back seat became a deafening, terrifying roar. I looked in my rearview mirror, and I saw the woman, now a tall, gaunt silhouette. Her face, a distorted, rotting mask of pure hatred. Her eyes, two black holes of pure hatred, staring directly into mine. She began to move, her long, thin limbs unfolding in a horrific, unnatural motion. She began to speak, a low, guttural growl that was a horrifying parody of his wife's voice. "You're ours now, John. You're home." And as she spoke, the back doors of the car, which I had locked, slowly creak open, revealing a profound, ancient darkness, a darkness that is waiting for me, a darkness that is hungry, in a blind panic. I escaped the car through the front window, leaving everything behind. I ran into the dense, isolated forest, a man broken by fear. The police found me the next morning, a shell-shocked wreck, babbling incoherently. I never drive again. The memory of that night, the voice of my dead wife, the chorus of voices, and the final chilling line, "Your home," is a weight I will carry forever. The road is no longer a place of solitude. It's a place of profound, ancient terror, and I know that some passengers never get off the ride. The road is a silent conversation between you and your car. The hum of the engine, the glow of the dash, the white lines disappearing beneath you. You're in control, a master of your own destiny. But that night, the conversation was broken. A new conversation began. The road started to talk back. The first sign wasn't a warning. It was an invitation. And it was a lie, a malicious, terrifying lie that was designed to get me to stop. My name is Ben, and I'm a young professional, a man who sees the world in facts and evidence. I was driving home late at night after a business trip, a long straight stretch of highway, a road I have driven 100 times. The night was dark and clear, with a full moon, and the only company I had was the hum of my engine and the sound of my radio. A low, constant drone of static and late-night talk shows. I'm a skeptic, a man who believes that every strange event has a rational explanation. But that's about to change. I'm 100 miles from the nearest town, and the road is a desolate, silent blanket of profound darkness. The first strange event was a sight I initially dismissed as a prank from some teenagers. I was driving along, and I saw a sign on the side of the road that said "Slow down, stop." It was a handmade sign, a crude, amateurish thing, and it was out of place. I dismissed it, but a cold knot of unease had formed in my stomach. The weirdness escalated. A few miles down the road, I saw another sign. This one was professionally made, a large yellow sign that said "He's watching." I drove past, shaken, but told myself it was a hallucination, a trick of the mind from a long day of driving. But the air in the car had become heavy, oppressive. The silence of the road, once a comfort, was now a threat. My paranoia grew when I saw the signs a third time. This time, they were closer, more personal. I saw one that said "He knows your name," and another one that said he knows your past. I drove faster, my heart hammering in my chest, my mind a blur of fear and confusion. The signs were a chorus of malicious lies, a psychological assault that was designed to break me down. The fear became personal. The mimicry began. I heard a voice from the darkness, a low, guttural growl. That was a horrifying parody of my own voice. "Pull over, Ben. It's time to stop." The voice whispered things only I would know, a dark secret, a forgotten memory. The road was not just a road. It was a malicious, sentient entity that was in my mind, and it was trying to get me to stop, to get me out of the car, to get me to join it. The final escalation before the climax was a sound that shattered my sanity. I was running now, a man broken by fear. I was driving as fast as my car would go, the hum of the engine a deafening roar against the silence of the night. I saw a new sign on the road. It was a large, digital sign, a vibrant, glowing screen in the middle of a vast, empty prairie. The sign said, "Welcome home, Ben." The sign was wrong. It was a sign of a place I don't know, a place I have never been. I realized with a chilling certainty that the road was not a road. It was a trap, a long, winding, endless trap. And I was the one who was being lured in. I was driving, a man broken by fear. The road had changed. It was no longer a long, straight ribbon of asphalt. It was a twisted, winding, endless loop. The signs were everywhere, a chorus of malicious lies, all whispering his name, all telling him to stop. I saw a figure in the distance, a tall, gaunt silhouette of a man, standing perfectly still in the middle of the road. It was the he from the signs. The figure began to move, its body low to the ground, its limbs moving in a jerky, puppet-like fashion. It began to speak, a low, guttural growl that was a horrifying parody of my own voice. "You're ours now, Ben. You're home." And as it spoke, the road beneath my car began to crack and groan, and a long, impossibly thin, clawed hand slid through the asphalt, its fingers tapping against the air, beckoning me. In a blind panic, I slammed my foot on the accelerator, and my car went over the edge of the road, into a void, a black, empty nothingness. I don't know what happened next. The police find my car the next morning, abandoned on the side of a deserted highway, 100 miles from the nearest town. My body is never found. The memory of that night, the signs, the voice, and the final chilling line, "Your home," is a weight that my family will carry forever. The road is no longer a place of solitude. It's a place of profound, ancient terror, and I know that some roads are not meant to be traveled.